Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another updates from my YouTube channel. About Spring Boot admin server. Okay, so what is Spring Boot admin server? Okay, to monitor our Spring Boot application we can use the admin server, but so to monitor our application we have Spring Boot activator, right? So by using Spring Boot activator, so we can monitor our application as well. But why specifically we have to use Spring Boot admin server? Okay, so if you take like any real-time applications, so let's say that you are using microservices application. In the microservices applications we have like a number of microservices, right? So every microservices will have separate actuator endpoint. Okay, so then if you have like n number of microservices endpoints, then it's difficult to manage this actuator endpoints, right? So that is the reason this code centric team is came up with one solution. So code centric team is provides a Spring Boot admin server and admin UI to manage this manage and monitor this all the Spring Boot applications actuator endpoints at one place. Okay, so to work with this, first of all we need to create Spring Boot admin server, guys. Okay, so let's open Spring initializer here and we need to create one project, that is Spring admin server, guys. So let's provide some details, admin server, and so let's add dependency, that is web dependency, and after that we need code centric server admin server. Okay, so if you observe here, so whatever that version we have choose, that version is not compatible with this Spring Boot admin client and server. Okay, so we have to take list. So this is 2.5.1, right? So I'm going to choose the least one. Okay, so let's take 2.4.7 here and let's take Spring Boot admin server. Okay, so let's select this and generate this project and you can import into your IDE. Okay, I already imported this project to save the time. So this is my server, guys. So let's open here. Okay, so to work with this we need to add one annotation, that is enable admin server, to enable the admin server, and after that, so let's provide application.yml file here. Okay, so let's add server dot port, take 8081 here. Okay, that's it. You can start your Spring Boot admin server here. Application is started, guys. Let's hit the endpoint 8081. Okay, so this is Spring Boot admin UI. Okay, if you observe here we have applications and instances and the health status. Okay, so we don't have any applications are registered with the Spring Boot admin, that is the reason it is showing 0 count here. Okay, and now we need to create one Spring Boot admin client. Okay, so let's provide client admin client 1. Okay, and here we need a Spring web dependency, and after that we don't require server here, we need a Spring Boot admin client. Okay, and after that I'm going to use MySQL database here and I'm going to use JPA, Spring Data JPA, and after that I'm going to use Lombok for setter and getters. Okay, so these are the dependencies required to work with this application. Okay, so let's generate this project and you can import into your IDE. Okay, I already imported this project my IDE to save the time, and let's open. So let me create one model class, guys. I'm going to take product here as a model name. So let's take product and let's annotate with so let's take ID, persistence ID, and after that we need a generated value strategy. So let's provide some strategy here. Okay, so I'm going to take generation type is auto. Okay, model class is ready. Now we need repository class. Okay, repository. So let's take repository interface. Inside that I'm going to take product repository here. So let's annotate with repository. Okay, this is repository. So the repository is ready now. We need a controller to save and fetch the data. Okay, so let's create one package controller. Inside that I'm going to create product controller here. Okay, let's annotate with rest controller. And so here we have product repository, right? So product repository. So I'm going to auto while this. Okay, and so we need an endpoint to save this product data in the MySQL database. Let's provide post mapping. So inside that, let's provide some endpoint that is products here. Okay, and we need one get mapping to get the all the products here. Okay, so two endpoints are ready now. We need a third endpoint that. Okay, this is optional. That is the reason I'm going to get here. And that's it, guys. So this REST controller is ready. And so we need database details. Okay, so here I have application.yaml file. So in this application.yaml file, I have a Spring data source details, that is driver class name, password, URL, and the username. And after that, I have a few JPA properties, that is DDL properties here. And after that, I have dialect information. Okay, and I have one more thing, that is Spring Boot admin client URL. Okay, so this Spring Boot admin client URL is localhost 8081. Okay, so the admin server is running on 8081, guys. That is the reason it is showing this one. And after that, we have application name. We have to provide some application name to this client. So I have provided a product service as application name. Okay, and finally, so if you want to see log file on admin server, that is admin UI, so you can provide the logging details here, logging, and after that the file name, so product service.log, and how much max history you are going to maintain. Okay, you can provide that count here, and after that max size, how much MB it's going to be maintained, so that max size you can provide here. Okay, at the end we need a management endpoints. Okay, that is actuator endpoints. So we have a so endpoints and the endpoint. Okay, so these two endpoints and endpoint is required to work with Spring Boot actuator. Okay, you can provide these two details, so that's enough. And after that, you can start this application, and whether it's, so let's see whether it's registered with Spring Boot admin server or not. Okay, application is started. Now go to this Spring Boot admin UI and just refresh this, and you can see this product service is registered with, so this Spring Boot admin server here. Okay, so let's click on this. You will see, so this URL and this IP as well, and everything, the endpoint you will see here. And after that, the applications count and the instance count and the health status you can see here. And let's click on this wallboard. So here you will see this product service and the instance name here. Let's click on that. So the inside details you can see here. Okay, the product related inside details you can see here, and that is actuator endpoints. And after that, we have information and metadata, and so what is the instance status and what DB you are using. Okay, and how much disk is it is used, and everything you can see here. And after that, we have a threads information and the process information and database collection information, So memory usage, okay, heap memory usage, okay, non-heap. So you can see all this stuff here. Okay, in the graphical representation it is going to be show everything here, that is details. And after that we have a matrix. So in the matrix you can see, so this, let's delete this. Okay, here we have all the matrix information. Okay, so we have like connection pooling information. Okay, so if you want to see how many connections, Hikari connection pooling connections, if you want to see here, you can see connection pooling information. When you click on add metric, so you will see the count here. Okay, and same thing. So if you observe here, we have a HTTP server request. Let's open that. Okay, let's delete this endpoint, not required. And after that here we have a method. Okay, we have a get method, and after that we have a actuator health and information of everything. So if you click on that actuator health, and let's add this metric, and you can see everything here. Okay, and so in the metrics I'm going to show you now. So let's open my postman. Okay, so in the body I have ID and the name is books here. Let's insert into my SQL DB. Okay, it's inserted successfully, guys. And come back to this admin server UI, and so if you click on HTTP server requests, and if you choose get or post, okay, we executed post, right? And let's see the URI here. Okay, URI is products, and we have outcome. So client error or success, we need to see the success outcome. Okay, that is status is 200. So let's click on add metric. So if you observe here, we have a count is 1, the request count is 1, and how much time, total time it is taken to execute, and how much maximum time it's take one request. Okay, and if you see here we have a count 1, right? So let's execute one more. So let's execute mobile products. Okay, and come back, you can see the count. Okay, and after that we have a maximum time and total time is changing now. Okay, so let's take get. Okay, I want to get it all the products here. So we have 2 products is executed, and it's written 2 products. Now I want to see get metrics as well. Okay, so get metric and success, and let's add this metric as well. So if you see here, we have a post and we get is executed only one time, and this is the time it is took to execute that request. Okay, let's click again. Okay, so we have executed 5 times, and total time is this one. Okay, so this is how you can see, guys. And we have like n number of endpoints here. So depends on your requirement, you can choose it. We have a memory, so everything is there. So thread count, okay, system CPU usage. So every metrics you can add here, and you can check it out. And after that we have environment. Inside this environment we have a all the environment and system related properties, guys. Okay, and so we have beans. So whatever that beans is registered with your product service, you can see all the beans here. Okay, and we have configuration properties, and whatever the configuration that we have provided in the application.yaml file, so that is show SQL and generate DDL, and we have hibernate dialect, and all those information you can see here. And after that we have a scheduled task. So if you have any scheduled task, you can see here. And after that we have a login. Okay, so we have added the log file, right? So that is product service.log. Okay, that log file is, you can see here. And we have loggers. So in the loggers we have all type of loggers, like whether you want to be seeing the information or like debug or trace. Okay, right now it is by default info. So if you want to see in the debug mode, so let's click on that debug and come back to log file. Okay, so now check, it's showing in the debug mode. Okay, so that's how it will work, guys. And after that we have a JVM. So in the JVM we have a thread dump. Okay, so how many threads are executing and all those stuff we can see here. So if you want to download the thread dump, you can download from here, and if you want to analyze this thread dump, by downloading this you can analyze that thread dump. Okay, and after that we have a heap dump. Okay, so if you want heap dump, you can download from here. And we have a mappings. So here we have a product service actuator mappings guys, that is endpoints. So you can get it all the information related to the actuator endpoints. Okay, and after that we have a cache. Okay, if you want to see any cache related information, you can see here guys. Okay, so if you want to use any Redis or like Hazelcast cache, then it is going to be represent that cache information here. Okay, so that one also I'm going to demonstrate now. So go to this application. Now I want to add Hazelcast, okay, cache. So to work with this cache, we need to add in the pom.xml few dependencies guys. So let's start this application. Okay, so we need to add this Spring Boot starter cache, and after that we need to add the Hazelcast. Okay, Hazelcast, and after that Hazelcast Spring. These three dependencies are required to work with Hazelcast cache. Okay, let's refresh this Maven to download these dependencies guys. Okay, and after that we need a configuration. That cache configuration is required. Let's create configuration. Okay, so Hazelcast, okay, configuration file. Okay, this Hazelcast configuration file will have all the information related to that configuration guys. Let's annotate with configuration, and so here we need to add one bean. Okay, so this is, okay, this is the bean, so it's going to be written the config. Okay, and inside this we have a map config guys. This map config will have like all the details. Okay, like map config name and max size configuration. Okay, and we have a evict policy, and after that we have a how much time it has to be live inside the cache. So all the stuff we are going to be configure here. Okay, so this map configure we are going to be add to this configuration. Finally it's going to be written this config. So this is Hazelcast configuration guys. And once you added this bean, so let's open our main application. So here we need to enable our Spring Boot caching. So that is enable caching annotation guys, and after that we have a product controller. So here we need to add, so cacheable, so cache config guys. So inside that we have cache names. Okay, so let's add cache names. So our cache name is products. Okay, so let's add products here, and after that, so whenever like you are getting the data from the database, okay, so when you configure this Hazelcast, that data has to come through this Hazelcast, right? So let's add cacheable annotation. Okay, so that's it guys. So you can start this application and you can test it out. Okay, if you configure Hazelcast, so you can see this information. Okay, this cache information. So that means the Hazelcast is configured in our application. Okay, so it started guys. So let's open. So this is mappings cache. Okay, and let's clear this console and open. So let's get the products. Okay, we don't have any products, we have restarted, right? So let's add post endpoint here. Okay, we have some data here. Let's add. So it's added successfully, and come to console and clear. Okay, so I'm going to get it by using ID here. Okay, the ID is 1. So let's hit the endpoint, products 1, say get mapping, right? So let's hit the endpoint. It's not. Okay, it's giving the error. Let's check it out. There is no suitable serializer. Okay, we have to implement the serializer, guys. That is the reason it is throwing the error. Okay, serializable. Okay, let's restart your application. Application is started. So let's insert some data. Okay, data is inserted successfully. Let's clear this console, come back. Let's get the data by using id. Okay, so it's returning data. So if the data is returning, we will see this hibernate query, right? So it's written from the database. Okay, so let's clear this console. So the second time when you hit this endpoint, so it has to be written from the cache, not from the database. Okay, let's hit this. Okay, this time we haven't seen any hibernate query here because it's written from the cache. Okay, that is the reason. So we haven't seen any query here. Okay, so now come to this cache and check it out. So here we have a products cache, that is cache manager. So the cache manager name you can see here, that is product that we have configured in the Hazelcast. Okay, so this one. So this is how it will work, guys. That's it, guys. So if you like this video, please go ahead and like, and if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks, bye.